Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 3 Yards in a Cloud of Dust NFL podcast. I'm your host, Josh, and with me, as always, my co host, Jonathan.
Hi, guys.
So, we got some few pieces of news here for heading into week 4. Some more injuries, some movement by some teams here. And first up, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars have traded corner C.J. Henderson and a 5th-round pick to the Carolina Panthers for tight end Dan Arnold and a 3rd-round pick in return. Also, the biggest reason why this move happened was because the Panthers recently placed their number 8 overall pick corner J.C. Horn on the IR after he broke his foot in last week's game against the Texans. So that's big.
Yeah.
Their defense has been really good so far this season, and they needed that consistency of having a good CB out there.
And with him now being out, it was going to make it hard if they didn't go out and try to grab someone.
Yeah, and especially with the other part of the news, with the Panthers having lost running back Christian McCaffrey for several weeks with a hamstring strain.
Yeah.
So they're really going to be relying on that defense to win them a few games over the next couple of weeks.
Oh, definitely.
But, the Panthers have impressed us with their play so far.
Oh, yeah.
Sam Darnold looks like a completely different quarterback than what he did in New York.
Oh, yeah, and because he also has weapons now.
Yeah.
Jets never had weapons.
They still don't.
Hopefully they fix that with Wilson.
Yeah.
But that's high hopes.
No,
but anyway.
Through the first 3 weeks with the Jets, it doesn't look so good.
No. But with a young quarterback who has a lot of talent, I wouldn't be surprised through the next couple of years they actually give him some talent.
I hope so. They need it over there. But the Carolina Panthers are 3-0 through their first 3 weeks with some pretty impressive wins over some teams that have, I wouldn't say top-of-the-line teams. I probably say the strongest team they beat would be the Saints.
I agree with that one.
Last week, or in week 2, they made the Saints look as foolish as the Saints made the Packers look in week 1.
Oh, yeah.
So that says a lot about this defense here.
Yeah.
It has the ability to carry them a long way.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Although their matchup this week against the Cowboys in Dallas, that's going to be a true test.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably going to be their biggest one so far.
Because I think they also faced Tampa later this year, too.
Well, of course, they play them twice a year. They're in the same division.
Yeah. So you have, especially if Tampa Bay's defense can get up and running like they were at the end of last season, that's going to be another test for them.
Yeah. Next piece of news.
The Broncos wide receiver KJ Hamler will miss the rest of the season due to a torn ACL.
And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
He's not the first one to go down this year with a torn ACL. Probably, unfortunately, not going to be the last.
I see another 6. I'm hoping not anymore, but
yeah,
there's still a lot of games left.
Yeah. And the Broncos have looked extremely well. They're another undefeated team through the first 3 weeks.
Yep.
So it looks like Teddy Bridgewater has been a godsend for this team so far this early in the season.
Yeah, and we even said before the season started in our divisional breakdown, if Bridgewater does start, he can take this team a long way.
Yeah.
And it's showing.
Yeah, and it's just going to be a question of how far they can go.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be facing three tough teams twice, 2 times each this season.
Yeah.
So with the Chargers are already proving to be a tough team. The Chiefs are surprisingly struggling here in the first couple of weeks.
But
they're still a strong team.
Yeah, I see them turning that around real quick within the next couple of weeks.
And then, of course, the Raiders are right there with them at 3-0.
Yeah, so it will be definitely an interesting season.
Next up, Richard Sherman, free agent corner Richard Sherman, is currently visiting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after the Buccaneers lost another corner to injury in this last game.
everyone's go. It seems like all the corners are going down with injury.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it does look like it's going to be a bad season if you're in the secondary.
Yeah. So, but hopefully they recover quickly and it's nothing too serious for them this time around.
Yeah, and of course we will update you on whether or not Richard Sherman actually signs with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, and if he's visiting with Tampa Bay, that means he's probably gonna, if everything goes well, he'll probably sign within the next few days.
Yeah.
And then we head over to Tennessee with wide receiver A.J. Brown and Vikings running back Devin Cook. They're both week to week from their injuries.
Yeah, and from what I've heard is they're both most likely to miss this week's game.
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because those are two big players that both those teams need.
Yeah. I mean, Delvin Cook has been such an asset for the Vikings, especially ever since Kirk Cousins came in and took over. It's rounded out that offense so nicely, having a decent quarterback after losing Teddy Bridgewater, and then Delvin Cook has been the best thing for the Vikings running game since Adrian Peterson's early years.
Oh yeah,
and then of course A.J. Brown for the Titans. Tannehill loses a very important weapon.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna have to see how that works out for them.
Yeah, but with them being week to week, that for both teams, that means they're on the right track to come back. So that's definitely going to be a plus for them.
Next up, we have a pair of Pittsburgh wide receivers in Juju Smith-Schuster and Deontay Johnson, who are ruled day-to-day right now. Of course, Deontay Johnson is carrying the questionable tag into this week's game after suffering that knee injury in the loss to the Raiders 2 weeks ago. And in this last week's game, Smith-Schuster suffered injuries to his ribs.
So, and seems like he's probably going to miss this week.
It could be. Like I said, it's day-to-day right now, so it's all going to come down to really whether or not they're practicing by Friday. If they hit the field in some fashion by Friday, then they have a chance to play.
Yeah, and then we do have one more, and it's actually in Tampa Bay with Gronk actually leaving the game with a rib injury.
So he's most likely day-to-day as well.
He's actually day-to-day, but he's actually set to come back and play against the Patriots.
Ooh, okay.
They've already the MRI came back negative, so he is set to come back and be part of the Tampa Bay wide receiver core to face his all team with Tom Brady.
Yeah, and of course with Antonio Brown being questionable as well, and having missed last game, can't really afford to lose out on Gronk with how well he's been playing.
Oh yeah, it's like with him coming out in the third quarter this week, it definitely was a question, but they already said he's gonna be good to go for Sunday.
Yeah. And then our last little piece of news is actually something that little entertaining to do is our undefeated team watch. There are after 3 weeks, there are only five teams
left.
5 teams left undefeated, and that is the Carolina Panthers, the Arizona Cardinals, and the LA Rams in the NFC. And then surprisingly,
the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders
in the AFC. I don't think anybody expected both Denver and the Raiders to be undefeated.
No,
and I don't think anybody expected the Cardinals to be undefeated.
No, I sure hell didn't.
Yeah. And so going into that, though, we are definitely going to be losing one of these undefeated teams this week because you have the Cardinals and the Rams playing against each other.
Yeah, and
this weekend.
And that will actually be, I want to say, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. I mean, of course.
Which they will be playing about 1:25.
Yeah. Of course, the Rams won the thriller over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this past weekend.
Yeah.
And so that was, I mean, I expected the game to be good, but I didn't expect the Rams to win.
No.
So that was surprising there. I also did not expect the Arizona Cardinals to be undefeated, especially with the fact that Jacksonville was actually leading at one point.
Oh yeah.
They were up 19-17, I think, at one point, and then the Cardinals just decided to go. They were like, "Screw this! We're just going to go off and we're going to win the game." It's like I sat there and I turned the game on, or I was looking for games to watch, and I saw Jacksonville was up, and I was like, "Oh wow, they're actually winning!" So and then I changed the channel real quick, and then when I went back and checked the score again, all of a sudden the Cardinals were blowing them out.
Yep.
I was like, "What the hell happened?"
What happened was the number 1 overall pick threw interceptions.
Yeah, that seems to be happening a lot with these rookie quarterbacks this last week.
Not so much Mac Jones though. Mac Jones
but even he didn't look all that great this past week.
This past week, no, but he was also facing a strong defense.
Yeah,
so that if you
and of course we're going to talk more about that in our recap of week 3 coming up later today. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But that is.
It would definitely be interesting for you guys.
Yeah.
And interesting for us.
Yeah. So that's about it for our news for the week. That's our notable stuff. Before we go, though, once again, we wanted to kind of highlight, and I've been seeing a lot of people doing it this week, the last couple of weeks, which is a good thing, too, because, times are hard right now. We know times are tough, but we also want to let you know that there are people out there willing and ready to help you. So if you or someone you know is suffering emotionally, mentally, and they are considering suicide or having thoughts of suicide, don't stay silent. Speak up. Right now, there's a number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline on the screen. We will continue to have that up for every episode, at least until the end of the month. We may even do it longer than that. We may periodically do this throughout the run of the show as well, just because we want you to know that you're not alone. There are many people out there who have gone through similar situations, probably not the exact same, but we know how you're feeling. I know, I've been down that dark road before. Came close to ending it at one point, and I was lucky enough to make it back.
Yeah, and then coming from a third party perspective, it's not fun, and it definitely helps having someone there.
Yeah,
I've seen it firsthand from helping one of my friends getting out of it, and it does help.
Yeah, and of course we're still trying to get the hashtag one conversation can save a life. We're trying to get that going. So if you could help us with that, we'd really appreciate it. And just remember, there are people out there that love you and care for you, want to see you succeed and do your best, and they want to help you through your tough times.
Yeah. And we're here too. All stuff is down in the description.
Yeah.
If you don't feel comfortable calling or don't think you can go talk to someone, feel free to message us.
Yeah. And there are other resources too if you go to the National Suicide Prevention website as well, which it's really. I think I have it up there. If not, I will have it at least in the description this week. So look for that, and like I said, just the worst thing you can do is stay silent.
Yeah, because it's not good to stay within your own head.
No. But with that, we want to thank everyone for joining us today. We hope you continue to go with us as we continue on down this journey. We thank you for all the support that you've given us. Like I said, we hope you continue to go with us from this point on. And until the next one, we'll see you guys later.
Have a good night.